Good afternoon from Vienna. It is June 18, 2021. My name is Liviu Matei, and as Provost of Central European University, it is my privilege to open this 2021 commencement ceremony. On behalf of the Board of Trustees, faculty, and staff of the university, I would like to warmly congratulate all our graduating students, members of the class of 2021. Well done, guys. It is a little weird to be master of ceremony of an online event. But what was this academic year 2020-2021 if not weird? It was weird and also desolate. It was the year when many members of the CEU community, faculty, staff, and continuing students were forced to leave Budapest, move to a new place that will become our new home. It was a year we spent mostly under lockdown, far apart, meeting online. We lost members of our community to the coronavirus. Many colleagues, students, faculty, and staff members have lost loved ones. I would like to take a moment to acknowledge the stress, anxiety, and suffering during this academic year 2020-2021. It was particularly hard on our students. But today is mostly a moment of celebration. It is a moment of hope and light. It is the day of commencement, of a new beginning for our graduating students. You have done remarkably well, and we are so proud of all of you. We congratulate you and wish you much success in your future endeavors. The great Latin American, Chilean poet Gabriela Mistral once wrote these lines about moving beyond desolation towards life and hope. May her words accompany you as you graduate from CEU and move on in your careers, in your lives, beyond the crisis. I hope God will forgive me for this bitter book, Mistral wrote. I leave it behind me as you leave the darkened valley, and I climb by more benign slopes to the spiritual plateaus where a white light will fall over my days. From there, I will sing the words of hope. I will sing as a merciful one wanted to do for the consolation of men and women. Before I pass the word to Michael Ignatieff, it is my great pleasure to recognize a few of our fine doctoral students, winner of this year's Best Dissertation Award. They are Helena Milton from Cognitive Science. Supervised by Christoph Heinz and Dan Sperber, Helena's project analyzed the cognitive basis of cultural phenomena, namely how heraldry, portraits, and musical rhythms were shaped by cognitive and ecological factors. Helena is the author of 10 articles, and she finished her PhD in only 4 years. Adam Mézes from History. Supervised by Laszlo Konter and Gabor Klanitsoy, Adam's dissertation offers a comprehensive treatment of the confrontation of metropolitan-trained medical experts with the phenomenon of preter and supernatural in connection with cases of vampirism in the 18th century southeastern Habsburg military frontier region. And finally, Victoria Fomina from Sociology and Social Anthropology. Supervised by Vlad Naumescu, Victoria's dissertation demonstrates with anthropological methods in the case of Russia and Cyprus how religious communities can accrete and mobilize around violent killings, leading to calls for greater nationalism, greater militarism, and a return to or reform of social order. And now I would like to pass the word to our rector, Michael Ignatieff, to present the Excellence Awards for faculty and staff.
Thank you, Provost. I'm delighted to announce the 5 CEU Excellence Awards recognizing outstanding achievement of our faculty and staff members during an academic year. With both teaching and research at the core of our mission, Central European University is committed to promoting excellence in teaching and the advancement of the social sciences and humanities. I'm delighted to announce the 2021 winners of the CEU Teaching Excellence Award, an annual award that recognizes CEU faculty members for outstanding teaching. Well done, Nadia Jones-Gayani, Assistant Professor in the Department of Gender Studies, and Levente Litvai, Professor in the Department of Political Science. Congratulations also to Federico Battiston, Professor in the Department of Network and Data Science, and Mihai Fazekas, Professor in the School of Public Policy, who are joint winners of the 2021 CEU Award for Outstanding Research. This award was founded to recognize outstanding research by CEU faculty that has had a significant international impact. Two new awards introduced this year: the Staff Excellence Award, recognizing administrative staff who excel in their roles, and the Community Excellence Awards, established to celebrate outstanding community service. The staff awards go to Borbala Darabosh, coordinator in the Department of Political Science, and Eva Tornios, senior payroll officer in the Human Resources Office. Well done both. And finally, rounding off the awards, Kirsten Roberts-Lyer, associate professor in the Doctoral School of Political Science, Public Policy and International Relations, and disciplinary committee chair. She's presented with a Community Excellence Award. Our congratulations to Kirsten, who along with Nadia, Levente, Federico, Mihai, Bori, and Eva are an example of what makes CEU such a formidable institution. My congratulations to you all, and now to our Pro-Rector for Social Science and Humanities, Professor Agi Battery, for her opening remarks.
Dear students, colleagues, family members, and friends, almost a year ago in September, I was one of the people welcoming you to CEU, wishing you well for the first ever academic year most of our students started in Vienna. I said then that this was going to be a very special academic year because of the COVID-19 pandemic, but little did I know just how special and how challenging your time at the university was going to be. After just a few short weeks, we had to move classes online, and many of you had to cope with anxiety about your health, the well-being of your loved ones perhaps far away, isolation, and the stress of conducting your studies in a virtual space. Instead of finding your favorite spot on campus with your friends, you learned to live with the frustration of an unstable internet connection. Instead of sitting down in front of your computer to write your papers, you learned to spend all day in front of the screen. I myself learned, and I still try to remember, to unmute myself whenever I want to speak. Obviously, this is not what any one of us wished for. But, and this is the most important thing for our graduating class, despite all these challenges, you have made it, and we congratulate you on your perseverance. All of you have found the strength and the mental discipline to stay focused. Many of you not only managed to complete your degrees, but produced truly outstanding work in these adverse circumstances. Strange as this year may have been, I hope you will have good memories of your time at CEU, and you will have found what you were looking for when coming here. A rewarding intellectual journey, inspiration from conversations with some of the greatest minds in your discipline, and new friends from all over the world. I also hope and believe that our new graduating class represents another group of individuals who will make a positive change in the world, working to uphold the values of open societies. Again, please accept my warmest congratulations on your achievement. We wish you all the best for the upcoming chapters of your lives, and we hope you will stay in touch with your alma mater.
Distinguished guests, members of the CEU board, faculty and staff, family and friends, and most of all, my fellow graduates, welcome. It is a privilege to speak with you all on this momentous occasion. It's been an unusual year. I'm pretty tired of hearing that. I was there and so were you. I know because I saw you. In a Zoom window, at least. Apocalypse or not, Budapest or Vienna, in person and online, CEU is CEU. We all awkwardly contacted one another right at the beginning of fall semester, and clung to the first people who seemed even remotely friendly. We all had those first few weeks where the only things we could talk about were academics, because no one wanted to be the first to come off as perhaps a little bit less serious. Then came the Zoom classes. because of which I have now seen the homes and bedrooms of practically every professor and student in my program. I have seen the suspiciously massive bookshelves of people trying to deceive us all and convince everyone that they have read the entirety of the history of the decline and fall of the Roman Empire. I have stared at countless blank walls of students who, as a demonstration of their monastic rejection of all worldly attachments, shun the hanging of any and all decorations. I adored all the pets that joined our Zoom calls, which was a genius strategic move, a distraction from the fact that their owners had probably read nothing beyond the introductions and conclusions of that day's assigned readings. But most of all, I admired those true paragons of academic diligence, known as the camera-off crew, who were certainly and undoubtedly 100% engaged and interested in nothing more than the course at the time. Eventually, things went from talking about those people and classmates to the cohort and our professors, and eventually, my friends. Because no one was a they anymore. We were an us. We got tested so that we could go on walks together. We made memes out of our professors, and we talked about what we would do after. We added therefore at the beginning of every sentence to stretch out our word counts, and despite it all, we did some truly incredible research. We checked in on one another to make sure that everyone was holding up, and we made it work. And we made it through this year. So whatever comes next will probably feel just too easy. So thank you to the faculty, administration, and all of my peers. Alum or student, Budapest or Vienna, this year or next generation, on campus or back in our home countries. Whatever we do, from now on, we are CEU. And congratulations to us.
I wish we could be together today. Virtual reality is no substitute for the real thing. One of the great moments in a CEU graduation is when we throw our caps into the air. I'm sure we'll be throwing them into the air next year, that's for sure. Today we look back on a year unlike any other. A Zoom year, a Teams year. Think about how extraordinary this was. A CEU student in the USA wakes up at 3 in the morning to attend a lecture being given in Vienna at 9 a.m. Another student is watching the same lecture in the afternoon halfway across the world in Nepal. It's crazy, but that's how it was. But you did it. You graduate today knowing you've earned your degrees the hard way. You earned it alone in your dorm rooms, upstairs in your parents' home, or down the hall from members of your family at work. It took special concentration, special determination to get through this year. And there were times when you were really worried. Would your loved ones get sick? Would your friend recover? Would there ever be light at the end of the tunnel? Well, there is light. We can see it. We can feel it. The summer stretches before us, a summer with heat on our backs and a smile on our faces. And you'll have a CEU degree to prove that you made it through. You'll join a huge network, 18,000 plus CEU alumni spread around the world in business, in industry, in minister's office, and in NGOs battling against inequality, climate change, and racial injustice. I was talking to some alumni just the other day at our reunion, and one of them told me that the first morning she walked into her new job in London working for an international environmental NGO, she met 2 other graduates of CEU. I hope that happens to you when you pull down that first job, when you start the next exciting phase of your career. Our global journey, our global network will be there for you. As you head out into the wider world, I want you to make a difference, to stand on the front line of our never-ending battle to defend the defenseless, to house the homeless, to befriend the friendless, our never-ending battle to defend open societies from those who want to shut them down. Right now, one of your comrades, who should be here with us today, is in an Egyptian prison. And for what? For expressing his opinions. Ahmed Samir Santawi is defending the values of an open society, and we will stand with him until he is released and free to resume his studies with us. As I said when we opened our new campus at Quellenstrasse 2 years ago, open society is not an empty slogan for us. We've had to fight for it. It's more than a vision of a good society, it's a morality of intellectual life. And these days, open is hard. You have to listen, learn, change your mind, accept when you're wrong, stick up for what you believe when you know you're right. Closed is so much easier. Shut your ears, harden your heart. Close your eyes, read from the script. Open is hard, but it's the only way for us. It's the only way for us. To be open to ideas that are unfamiliar, to be open to the new and challenging, to be open with those who disagree with us, to be open to the stranger, to the persecuted, and to the unfree. To be open doesn't mean that anything goes. It also means, sometimes at least, to be closed to hatred, to prejudice, to hard-heartedness, to arrogance. I hope we taught you more than just a discipline, more than just a subject, while you were studying with us. I hope we taught you to uphold the morality of an open intellectual life. So what does that mean? In 2016, when I first spoke to students in our auditorium in Budapest, I said this: the one thing we must teach all of our students, if our societies are to remain free, is to know what knowledge truly is. For without knowledge, without respect for research, science, and reason, democracies cannot bring order to our common life. A university has to be the guardian of the continent of truth. We need to teach that some things are true, some are false, some ideas take us forward towards deeper understanding of reality, while others take us back into darkness and confusion. Some ideas have survived the test of time, while others have been rightly discarded. I want you to keep your feet firmly grounded for the rest of your life on the continent of truth. Do not allow yourself to live on the continent of lies, in countries, companies, institutions, organizations that are ruled by deception, falsehood, and manipulation. Stand up and be counted. Be unafraid. If I have a single message today, it's never to let your life be driven by fear. Fear of what others will think. Fear that you aren't up to it. Fear that you'll have to pay a price. Pay the price. Stand up. Live your life with your eyes open, your heart open, your conscience alive to the challenges of a modern life. As for me, this is my last graduation, but I'm not going anywhere. I'll be back in the classroom where I belong next January, and I hope that when you're next in Vienna in the neighborhood, you'll come and see your university. Remember, it will always be your home away from home.
I want to bring greetings to each and every member of the class of 2021 of CEU, the Central European University. On behalf of the Board of Trustees of CEU, I'm Leon Botstein, the chair of the board, and we could not be more proud of this graduating class. Many of you have had most of your education here under the conditions set by the pandemic, which have interrupted the most valuable experience that many university students have, which is the direct and unimpeded exchange with other students and with members of the faculty. But it is a tribute to the resilience, the ability, the ambition of the CEU student population and faculty population that so much has been accomplished at such a high level under such difficult circumstances. And as all of you know, if that were not enough, the pandemic, there was the move from Budapest to Vienna, which has been accomplished, and we're now on the brink of developing a new campus at Steinhof for CEU. The CEU is among the most important educational institutions in the world, and certainly in Europe. It has become a beacon of what it means to be a free university that maintains academic freedom, that cultivates dissent, and that has a truly international student body. It is a bulwark against the encroaching allure of national nativist, homogeneous ideologies. It is a bulwark against the allure of autocracy, of orthodoxies of various kinds. You, as graduates of the CEU, have a lifelong sense of mission to fight against the restrictions to freedom, the curtailing of dissent, the control of the press, the imposition of autocratic rule on individuals throughout the world. This university is committed to the belief that the world is, in the end, understandable, that our reason is actually able to penetrate the full range of human activity and the natural world. In a kind of Spinoza or Einstein-like sense of the universe, in that process of using our reason to investigate and understand the world as best we can, we come closer to fulfilling our capacity for happiness, for moral betterment, for an ethical society. That understanding and reason, the use of our imagination, the conduct of science, is a way of putting light into dark corners where we are both uncertain or confused by either superstition or by lack of real comprehension. The pursuit of knowledge, therefore, is not only to improve technically or practically the well-being of the world. The pursuit of knowledge is, in some sense, a way of opening up greater and greater possibilities among our fellow human beings, the capacity for happiness, for tolerance, and for understanding. It is a fight for freedom and for peace and for harmony. So learning is not merely a utilitarian endeavor. The CEU represents that vision of the connection between understanding, the pursuit of knowledge, and ethical goodness, moral betterment, and even, for those of you interested in the arts, ideas of beauty. We are fighters for the betterment of the human condition, for the moral betterment, for the physical betterment, the economic betterment, and the sense of fundamental equality of each of us in this natural universe. The CEU is just not an ordinary university. I want to take this opportunity to congratulate you again, to congratulate your families and your teachers. And I want to pay special tribute to the work of the administration of the CEU, its rector, Michael Ignatieff, its provost, Liviu Matei, and the entire staff of the CEU that shepherded this very, very contested but very important university as it moved from one country to another, from a country that is closed to a country that is open, that also negotiated the enormously difficult requirements of an unprecedented pandemic. You should be proud of yourselves. You should be proud of this university, and I hope as you leave and join the workforce in your communities all over the world, given how international this university is, that you will add your own efforts to a long-standing ambition to make the CEU a powerful and important force in the betterment of our societies. And I'm proud to say that CEU is a founding member of the Open Society University Network, a new effort to make higher education even more significant in our long struggle to preserve freedom, individuality, and the betterment of our fellow human beings, from the most disadvantaged to our fellow citizens who have a desire to improve their lives and to open the opportunities for future generations. So congratulations to all. This is a remarkable and unforgettable commencement, and your achievement in receiving your degrees today is unprecedented and I congratulate you on behalf of the entire Board of Trustees.
Thank you, Leon, and thank all of the Board of Trustees for their unfailing support the last 5 years. It's now my great honor to present CEU's most important and prestigious prize, the Open Society Prize. The prize is awarded this year to an extraordinary public servant from the developing world. As Minister of Public Health in the Indian state of Kerala during the COVID-19 pandemic, K.K Shailaja Teacher and the dedicated staff of the Public Health Service demonstrated to the world that determined leadership, community-based public health, and effective communication can save lives. Shailaja Teacher's example will inspire young women to enter public service, and Kerala's record in containing the epidemic gives hope to nations in the developing world. By awarding CEU's highest award to Shailaja Teacher, the university honors a public servant and female leader for her commitment to public health services, the bedrock of every open society.
President and Rector CEU, Dr. Mikhail Ignatieff, members of the faculty and graduating students. It's a pleasure to express my deep gratitude to the Central European University for conferring me with the Open Society Prize. I am truly humbled and honored to be placed alongside the distinguished previous honorees, all of whom have made important contributions to an open society, particularly the eminent philosopher Karl Popper and, of course, your founder George Soros. Let me also express my special thanks to the advisory committee for nominating me. As I stand here today, the world is grappling with a crisis of unprecedented scale. When we decided a strategy for battling the pandemic in Kerala, we know that it had to be centered on securing the government's commitment and accountability to the people, as well as by working in synergy with the civil society. The state adopted the approach to systematically increase the capacity and resilience of the state's public health system to prepare for effectively respond to other crises in future too. As a science teacher early on in my career and then on joining politics, it has been my strong conviction that a scientific temper must be promoted, and it encompasses an attitude of curiosity and desire to reform. On being appointed as the Health Minister of Kerala, my first priority was to bolster the public health system to strengthen and accelerate the communicable diseases and non-communicable diseases control, that kind of activities, and address health inequalities. We launched aggressive campaigns and arranged facilities for treatment from the community level public health centers to hospital to all levels. Kerala won the UN award in 2020 for the multi-sectoral action in the intervention and control of NCDs, mental health, and the wider NCD related sustainable development goals. These timely interventions have undoubtedly helped to keep the mortality rate low when we were faced with the pandemic. Our mortality rate is below 0.5%. My tryst with the Nipah virus outbreak was a learning experience in containing the virus at the source with careful calculation, planning and coordination. It's a newly emerging zoonosis, and we were not aware of that virus at that time, but at once we started to set a protocol on it, standard operating procedure on it, and we acted with well planning, and we contained the virus within a short span of time. It also underlined the need for eternal vigilance against emerging viruses. So, in order to combat with the COVID-19 pandemic, we put in place a priority rooted in science, scientific temper, and the realization that we must be equipped with the knowledge-based and a robust health infrastructure to manage disasters and other pandemics. When we heard about a potential virus is spreading in Wuhan, China, we started our preparation at once. That is in late January 2020. And at once we formed control rooms and rapid response teams, everything we started. And vigorous planning was done here. The most rewarding facet was the teamwork and sense of cohesiveness behind the efforts. I have so many touching and inspirational experiences. People are working along the front lines, putting their life at stake, braving unique challenges, and leading from the forefront with kindness and empathy. Kerala's achievements in public health, our responsive institutions, respect for the human rights, and transparency in information are reflections of the values in support of an open society. To all students who are graduating today, I want to say that learning is a continuous process. Stay curious and keep learning and share your knowledge with others. We live in an increasingly volatile and unpredictable world where leaders must rise to global challenges and work out new constructive solutions together to build an equitable society. As you step out into the world, this is an opportunity for each one of you to change the world and write history. Find that leader in you. Congratulations on your graduation and best wishes for your future endeavors. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I should like to congratulate you on the occasion of your graduation from the Central European University. You have had a very eventful and interesting experience during your years at the CEU. In addition to graduating from your subjects of choice, you got to know two countries. Hungary, whose leader prides himself on inventing the concept of illiberal democracy, but whom most other people regard as the founder of a mafia state. And Austria, which is a functioning democracy in the European Union. I should also like to congratulate the university itself. It lived through a very difficult period and managed to come through thriving. It strengthened its global reputation and maintained its ranking as one of the top universities in the world in several social sciences. My thanks go to those who managed the university during this time. I'm proud of you, and I'm proud of the CEU. That you are here today, having completed your graduate studies, is a testimony of your determination and convictions. It is a moment to savor and celebrate, but it is not a time to grow complacent and to think that your mission is accomplished. When I established the CEU 30 years ago, I believed that the European Union was the embodiment of an open society and a model for the world. But the world has changed. History has taken a turn in the wrong direction. The forces of authoritarianism are on the rise. We must work together to reverse the trend. There have been other periods when repressive regimes were triumphant, although I must admit that artificial intelligence has created problems for free and open societies that they have never had to face before. AI can produce instruments of control that are helpful for a regime like Xi Jinping's China, but they pose a mortal danger to open societies. To complicate matters, some of these instruments of control are also needed to tackle the pandemic. And let us not forget climate change that is threatening the survival of our civilization. The role of China, inequality, and climate change are global problems that the graduates of CEU will have to contend with wherever they land. New problems need new solutions, so we have got our work cut out for us. But that should not stop us from pausing for a moment and celebrating your achievements and the achievements of the university. Today is a day for you and your families to enjoy yourselves. So have a good time.
CEU community, we now bring this year's ceremony to a close. Congratulations to the class of 2021. We shall overcome.